Picture this. I'm scrolling through my anime list looking at all the new spring releases, and I see Trapped in a Dating Sim. My first thoughts were, no, never gonna watch that. I mean, just reading the title and looking at the image, it looks like a steaming pile of poop. Then, for some godforsaken reason, I watched it. Just in the first episode, I see basic isekai traits, bland and overused character designs, mech fights, magic, swords, guns, dungeons, and a reverse harem. Like, what in tarnations is this show even going for? Then, next week rolled around, and I watched the second episode. Then the next, then the next, and the next, and the next, and the next, and then before I had even known it, I had watched every episode for half the spring season the day they released, like I was enjoying the show. But was I? I mean, the show comes off as a steaming pile of poop. It screams I'm bad, but I'm enjoying it. What's going on? I mean, the show seems as bad as my transitions into my shameless plugs. But hey, before we get any further, if you find yourself enjoying the video so far, or you keep coming back, go ahead and like the video and sub. It really helps me out. Thanks. Now, before we get any further, what actually is Trapped in a Dating Sim? Well, it starts out with our MC being forced to test play this game, and he dreads it the whole time, growing to hate the characters and the world it takes place in. The world is this weird place with royalty, but women rule over men. The higher your status, the more likely you can find a woman willing to marry you. Leon is then thrust into this world as a mob character, or for you non-gamers, a background character. Since he hates the characters in the world he's in, he's content on using the knowledge of playing the game to live a quiet and peaceful life. But he can't relax because there's a new girl that's in the place of the main character, and the main character is being severely bullied. He's afraid that this new situation is going to throw off the outcomes of the game, so he has to fix them so he can live his quiet life, and ends up basically doing the opposite by picking a fight with the prince and having the two baddest biddies in the school sticking by his side. Now, I have a theory on why I like this show, and it pertains to the antagonist and the protagonist and the relationship between them. We'll go ahead and start with the antagonist. This is the girl that takes place of the main character in the video game. She has a very mysterious aura and aspect to her, and you kind of learn about this really early on in the show, and it really surprised me, but it's in a self-monologue. But she has a completely different goal than the main characters. It's very contradicting, and this is a super good thing to have in a story. Having an antagonist that contradicts, pushes and pulls against a protagonist to force them to make choices that they normally wouldn't make, aka the main character picking a fight with the prince, or having the two love interests of the main video game by his side. Like, that's putting him in the direct spotlight. That's not being a mob character, a background character at all. Next is the protagonist, and I'm kind of biased about this because I love characters that have this attitude. He despises the love interest in the game, the prince and his friends, and he hates the way men are treated in this world because, I mean, they're basically treated like borderline toy servant things, but he doesn't care. My man is a king. He's a peacock. He's gonna fly away. He knows the rules of the world, and he uses them to make his actions justifiable, like where he absolutely boinks these guys in the noggin. He has a very I don't care attitude. He does what he wants so he can live the life he wishes to live. It's a very much so underdog type of story. Not exactly, but they're similar. But I find myself drawn to these characters, and I think it's because I relate, because, you know, me making YouTube videos, I'm doing what I want, I'm not caring what others think, so I have a very similar, but like not as aggressive approach to it. And then one last side note overall, I think the show could benefit from more showing, not telling. Like, show us things that happen, don't tell us, like in self-monologues, what happened, like how the antagonist tells us in a self-monologue how she or why she's in the situation. Show us how this happened, don't tell us it. And also, I think the show could benefit from holding on to secrets more instead of laying everything in the wide open. I like to rank my shows in 0.5 intervals, but I can't decide between 6.5 and 7, so we're just going with a 6.75. It has a really good foundation laid out as far as story goes to make something interesting. I don't think this is the type of the show to act on that and make it any deeper than it is now, though. The characters are the strong point of the story, with the conflict of the antagonist and protagonist and the attitude of the MC. I don't know if it's refreshing or not though, because they have so many staples of so many genres, and it's kind of put my brain into an overload and I can't decide. Which I think is why I like it, because my brain just gets fried from thinking too much and it devolves to a toddler-like state. Then the art and animation are average, and that's all I gotta say about that. But that's it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, go ahead and leave a like and sub. Let me know what you think about this show in the comments. Like, do you hate it? Do you like it? Do you hate that you like it? Or are you just confused like me? And I'll see you guys in the next one.